possibly be your last election, sir?
I'm 87. Depends when the next election is. If you have the next election in 2 years' time, I think I'll still be okay. You have the next elections in 5 years' time, I cannot say. But it doesn't matter to me. I've done my job. My job now is to help the government as best way as I can. Not by telling them what to do, because a younger generation has got to decide on his own what his priorities are. But by acting as an experienced data bank that says if you go that way, look out for these dangers.
And yesterday you went to Tampines, today you are Radin Mas. Do we expect to see you in other wards or other areas of contest?
No, not really, because the other wards, I've come to Radin Mas because Sam Tan was part of my GRC. So I've come to show him my support. He's got to contest on his own, not with me. I went to Tampines to support Heng Swee Keat, who got us out of the financial crisis and was responsible for the 14.5% growth. And he will make, later on, a finance minister, and a good one.
PM has said that the position of senior minister mentor is a unique position on its own. Do you think that position should be retained in cabinet, permanent one?
It is not for me to decide that. I'm 87. Do I have to decide that? It makes no difference to me whether there is a next senior minister mentor or there isn't. And it makes no difference to Singapore either. What you must have is one or two persons with considerable experience, not interfering in the way the present government is going, of younger ministers who must go in a different direction, but who is able to say, if you go in that direction, be sure you've got an exit strategy. That's my value.
Adam, you mentioned WP wanting to take hold of more GRCs. There have been, again, criticisms of the GRC system. What are your comments to that? And also criticism of Dr. Chia Shilu, who became an instant MP in your constituency.
That's the rules of the game. If you don't have GRCs, you tell me whether... Look at all the minorities, single seats. Is there a minority except Michael Palmer, whom we have put up because he's already established in that constituency? A single minority versus a single Chinese, what do you think will be the result?
Okay, but how about the comments of an untested person who could possibly, who really became an MP overnight just because it's untested?
No. He's not an untested person. We have interviewed him. We have gone through. He's a president scholar. He scored straight A's. We had him on the top of the reserve list because he lacked people-to-people experience. Now he's got to... So he immediately went around shaking hands to get that experience. He knows his shortcomings. He's not a fool. We don't just fish him out of a hat like a rabbit. We got a reserve list. We have an active list. There was one on the active list who had to withdraw because there are personal problems. So we took the one on the reserve list, highest on the reserve list, to replace him. No, it's done in an orderly and considered manner. It's not last minute just looking for people to say sponsors and sign and turn up late.
And back to the issue of cost of living. Despite all that the PAP government has done, there is still a sense that costs are too high or that not enough is being done. Why do you think that is so, and how can this be addressed?
By giving more. more workfare, special supplements, more you save, more growth and share package. But to give more, we must make growth. If, say, this year we make 15.5 instead of 14.5, then we can spread it. There's no way you can grow and spread it without growing. You have to rate the reserves, and that's not a wise thing to do. We've taken decades to build up the reserve to give us a strong position so the Singapore dollar cannot be attacked. No, Singaporeans take, you see, the trouble is, young Singaporeans don't know the past. They don't know how vulnerable currencies are if they don't have solid reserves and a stable, strong government. Why has nobody attacked the Singapore dollar? George Soros could come here and play havoc with the Singapore dollar if we didn't have reserves and were mismanaging the economy. He'll bring the dollar right down, he'll buy, and he'll manipulate the dollar right up and sell.
And just going back to Arjuna, you have a pretty strong message for the voters, saying they will regret it and they will have to repent for 5 years. Are you not worried it may cause a backlash among the voters there?
I am 87, I'm speaking the truth. I do not want to be hypocritical. You look at Hokang, and do you think Hokang is better than the other constituencies? It is the job of the PAP to look after its own constituencies first, right?
Lau Kah Kiang has said that Hokang is not a slum, and I think voters have asked, how bad can Arjuna get?
Well, it's for them to try and see. Is that the challenge for us to make it really bad?
No more questions?
No.
We have one more.
没问题。
没问题啊。
他们要跟我打交道可以。
Sir, would you like to comment on Mr. Tan Jee Sei's proposal to transform the Singapore economy from a manufacturing to more services-centered one? And
He has no qualifications to say that, and it's wrong. If you don't have manufacturing, you're going to have trouble with jobs. An economy which depends only on services is volatile, and you always end up with high unemployment when the services go down. Manufacturing is more steady.
And then you shared your confidence that PAP will still win this round, but in terms of the votes that PAP is going to take, do you expect it to be higher or lower because of the fierce competition from the opposition?
I don't take polls. We fight to win, and we try to win with as many votes and high percentage of votes as possible. And even if I tell you a figure, have I got a crystal ball?
We know that the creation of GRC is to ensure that there is enough representations from minorities. But if this time Mr. Michael Palmer wins majority in Congo East, that means that we can have more SMCs?
It means Mr. Michael Palmer, who's been in Congo East for 3 elections, has developed a special rapport with his constituents, and therefore we're trying out his bond with his electorate and allowing him to go on his own. It is a trial run.
So can be an indication that we can have more SMCs in the future?
If we have more people like Michael Palmer, who has been there 2-3 elections and bonded with their voters, would you, if you were the party leader, put a minority in a single? Put a Malay or an Indian? No. I'm asking you, let it be a high quality. Would the Chinese voter, 也要讲什么话?
Mandarin quite well. So
But the younger generation, the older generation speaks 潮州话, Fujian 话, Guangdong 话. You know the answer. Don't ask me these questions.
What's your assessment?
我的孩子那里? Yeah.
What's your assessment of all the 12 Malay PhD candidates? Of them? What's your assessment of them?
If we did not think them good enough, we would not have fielded them.
But
We interviewed many, and they were the best. Well educated, clean record, honest, good characters.
But some are asking why PM announced earlier possible appointment of Mr. Zainul as a speaker, when normally it's been done after the election.
You ask the PM. I'm not the PM.
Have you discussed with PM what kind of role he would like you to play during this period, this election?
No, I continue to play the role I've been playing, that of a mentor, kind of after the game quarterback.
After the game?
Well, I mean, I'll show you where the game went wrong, so you may learn the lesson for the next time. No, I've been through many situations. It's registered up here, and it's still clear, so it's of value.
And what were some of the lessons learned from the last elections that you have applied or asked PM to apply at this time? Which one?
No, it's not my job to tell you what I've told the PM.
What about this campaign so far? What are some of the things that have gone wrong that could have been done better? It's not your job to tell us what you told the PM, but it's our job to try to get you to answer.
No. You know, it is not my job to answer. You can ask me 1,000 times. I will stonewall you. Okay, last question. Or last two. Come on.
Okay. Earlier, my army has asked you about Malay books. To what extent do you think your earlier comments on the Malay community would actually cost the PhD Malay books this election?
If it causes a big stir, I'd be very sad, because what I said I meant, and I think if you ask yourself, did I mean any harm? No. Did I mean good? Yes. Because I want the Malays to totally integrate with the rest, so that we are one community. So hold up. Last question.
Yeah.
No. Already too many Malay questions.
No, it's not about Malay question.
No. You've already asked too many. I thank Mr. Loh Jia Kiang for his imaginative suggestions. But first we fight to win. And if they do not win, then Mr. Chan Shao Mao, I have no suggestions as to what he can do. He can go back to China, where he's been there for 30 years.
And then, would you care to share, like earlier on you said that you want to see more arts and culture in Singapore. What kind of elaborate that on that a little bit more?
We have reached first world material standards, but we have not reached first world standards in arts, culture, ballet, music, the finer things in life. It takes time. The symphony orchestra we took 30, 40 years to build up, and there are still a few foreigners in that symphony orchestra. So it takes time to build up this cultural manifestation of a civilized society.
Just a final question, but a lot of the sentiment for this election has been for a desire to have more alternative voices, to check the PAP. Is that such a bad thing to have, or a responsible thing to have? To have an elected official that is not.
No, let me put it simply. Do you want a first world government? What is important, a first world government or a second world government with a first world opposition? And I don't think we've got a first world opposition yet. And from 1963 to 1981, there was not one opposition candidate, and the PAP remained uncorrupt, completely dedicated to the job, and made great progress and brought Singapore up to a high level. That's our record. You look at the growth rates from 65 to 81. That's my answer. The character of the PAP has not changed. It's incorrupt, it's sufficient, it's meritocratic, it's all-embracive.
But yet people still want to see the PAP have checks and balances.
As I've told you, you've got a footloose generation that wants to try its luck. So let's see some fun and games. Are you one of them? Okay, thank you.